My confidence is slowly but surely coming back after surgery. I know I keep talking about it. I'm so sorry. It's a big part of my life right now. I have been feeling so insecure, like a little bit of weight gain, hair falling out, eyebrows a mess, but that's not surgery's fault. That's just so getting myself together a little bit is helping so much. And my nails, like, I did these myself, nothing special, but after surgery they were peeling so, oh my gosh, like surgery really puts your body through it. And I'm just happy to be at the other end of it. Oh, also this coffee is really good. It's really good. And I just fear this coffee obsession is not good. Anyway, I'm supposed to be meeting up with my friend, but she, like in 10 minutes, but she hasn't responded to my text. So I'm just gonna like wait a little, and then either she's gonna respond or I'm just gonna go home, which I kind of don't mind. I'm like, I don't mind just going home. We're just out here spending money today. I stopped in this store real quick, so before my, like, waiting for my friend to respond. She did, by the way. I was not ghosted by my friend. So to aid my coffee addiction, I got cold foam creamer, nut pods. I love nut pods. So I have, oh, they match my nails. So I have PCOS, now called PMOS, pissing me off syndrome. When I was first diagnosed, I really had a lot of nut pods because they're dairy-free, soy-free, nut-free, gluten-free, like just PCOS friendly. These paired together though is what we like to call moderation. And then I also got popcorn just in case I want to start the off-campus series tonight and I want a little snack. So I really shouldn't though, because I don't want to be up till 4 a.m. and I know once I start it, I'm not going to be able to stop it. So we're going to go to the park and we're going to meet our friend. Woo! Now is the part of the vlog where I get to talk about the books that I'm going to read. I hope you had fun coming along with some errands with me this morning. It is a vlog after all. So I am currently in the middle, actually I'm nowhere near the middle of The Natural Way of Things by Charlotte Wood. This is the book I got down the shore if you watched my last video. The chapters don't have numbers, so I don't know what chapter I'm on, but it's a few chapters in, page 32, if that means anything to you. This book started out a lot differently than I thought it was going to. I don't know why. Another toxic trait of mine is assuming how a book is going to be written and how the plot is going to play out. And then when I read the book, I'm just like, am I disappointed because it's not exactly what I thought it would be or wanted it to be? Maybe a little, and that's just something I have to get over. That's just something I have to move past. And the writing style is very interesting. I don't think I've read many books that, or if any, that have been written like this. Just, I don't want to say choppy. Guys, I know what it is. And this is probably a me problem, but the book, one of the first books I read, the first book I read for this reading vlog channel was 5 First Chances by Sarah Jost. I'll never go a day without thinking about it. It was written by a Swedish person, and I could just tell because the vernacular and prose is so different than American, North American, stateside American. So it's just, it takes me a little to my brain to readjust how it's reading these sentences. I just have to rewire and reload. And this book, I'm feeling like it's the same way. This is set in Australia, it's written by an Australian, and I think it's really interesting the difference between, it's all one common language, but it's so different. It's so different. And it's not a bad thing. It just takes me a second to get used to. But I'm glad it's happening. It's making reading more than entertaining. You're getting a lot more out of it. Anyway, so didn't even say what this book was about. So The Natural Way of Things is about a group of women who wake up from technically a drugged sleep, and their heads are shaved and they're wearing these weird uniforms and they're put to work in these desert conditions. At first, we follow two of the women, Yolanda and Verla. They wake up thinking, oh my gosh, they finally like admitted me into the psych ward, like I knew this was coming. So they're not really shocked about waking up in a strange place. It takes a chapter or two for them to be like, oh wait, this isn't good. Actually, a part of their clothing, it's like this old time tunic situation. There's like these rings on them where they're captors. There's just two guys out here controlling the show. They put leashes on these girls all around these hooks to corral them around. But I was thinking about the logistics of this because I have a dog. I could just like unhook it really easily. It just doesn't seem like a really, like, I don't want to give pointers to the bad guys, but it just seems like a flawed system, and I wonder if that will come into play or if I'm just thinking too deeply about it. Both things can be true. This isn't really spoilers. It's not, because most of it's on the back. I'm just giving a little details of the first couple chapters. So they're all linked together. So they're being leashed 2 hours away. They walk for 2 hours to get to this dry desert, and that's where I ended up. I guess we'll see what they're gonna do. According to the back, it's labor. I'm not just gonna leave you on that. They walk 2 hours in these wool tights and leather boots. So they're blistering, they're in pain, they haven't eaten anything, and they just woken up from a drugged kidnapping all the way to an electric fence just so one of the guys that is corralling them can show them that they have no escape, that the compound camp that I'm calling it is surrounded by electric fence and there's no escape. And then they turn around and they go back. I just feel like I should have finished what I was explaining there, because what the heck. I don't know what kind of labor they're going to be doing in the desert. The prisoners are not necessarily the main bad guy. I think they're just doing the main bad guy's dirty work. And the main bad guy being told to us from the back is a powerful man that each woman has a sexual scandal past with. Is it the same man? Is it a different man? If we're also thinking about 10 different women being abducted, is no one like noticing? Is no one noticing 10 women who probably were in the public eye a little bit because they were with these powerful men? Were any of them, like, was anyone in Australia, in the world even, a little bit like, wait a second. So I don't know about that, because again on the back it says no one comes to rescue them, and they come to the conclusion that they have to get out of this situation themselves. Oh my gosh. But the two men who are on this desert land who are running the show are these, they're described as, one is described as this stoner with dreads, the other one's this like scrawny, foul smelling guy, and they're both, when they're dealing with the women, when they're admitting them, There's like a desk and there are like papers and stuff, and it's like they called it like admitting them. It was very strange. They're like bored and like, all right, cut your hair or whatever. I don't know. It's like whatever. And then one of the girls, Verla, I believe, kind of just like starts questioning it, and he was like, shut up, slut. But he said it in a way where he was like, wait, this is my chance. Like, I have this deep misogyny in me, and like now's the time. Like, I can openly hate women without the backlash, because it's just me and this dude on here and like 10 person women. Like, I can be a horrible guy. And he's like, shut up, slut. Guys, so the very, very interesting characters in this book. That's where we are. The chapters are relatively quick, and we go back and forth from Yolanda and Verla's point of view. They're different, but they're the same. One is more, I'm going to face this head on. The other one's a little like, drug me again. Also kind of like slipping back into her memories as a way of coping / understanding the situation she's in. It's very interesting. I'm very interested to go into this book and to learn about the characters, even the men. Okay, that is that book. This video is 11 minutes long. Oh, it's the editing, y'all. I love it, but at the same time, I get really sick of listening to myself. So if you're not sick of listening to me, that makes one of us. I also want to start reading another book tonight, this evening, just as a little palate cleanser. This is heavy. It's not hard to get through yet. I have a feeling it's gonna be. But this is a good book where it's like, okay, I'm reading it, I can put it down, read it, put it down. Romances, I have a really hard time at putting down. They're so enthralling, if you will. This is enthralling too, but it's more of like, I can put it down, and I kind of want to for my mental sanity. So I have 2 fantasy books that I own physical copies of. One being Story of My Life by Lucy Score, and that one's a thick one, so I'm not going to start that this weekend. The other one I have is The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armaz. Guys, I slept on her. So I had the Spanish Love Deception on my TBR for the longest time, and I never read it. So I made the stupidest decision to unhaul it. I just never saw myself reading it, and I was... But then she came out with a book, The Long Game. I think I gave it 5 stars. If not, it's 4+. I loved it. One of my favorite romances and characters. I loved it so much. I loved it. So I'm like kicking myself for not having the Spanish Love Deception that I bought new, and I thought I was never gonna read, so I unhauled it. The things I do. I think this was a book outlet purchase. There's so many stickers on this, so I know it probably was, but I got this a while ago because I was like, I can't bring myself to repurchasing the Spanish Love Deception. I can't buy a book twice. That's crazy. I will most likely get it from the library when I do get around to reading that one, but I own this one because I found it on the book outlet. So I have that one. I also, you guys know when Instagram Reels show you the trashiest, like, I don't want to, that trashy is a really, really harsh word, but Instagram shows you these snippets of books that are on Kindle Unlimited that some of them I read and I'm just like, how is this supposed to sell me the book? And I read the comments and everyone's like, I downloaded this right now, and I'm just like, I must be missing something because I don't get it. Some of them I'm like, I'm very intrigued, but I do not have the time to go out of my way to add another book to my TBR if I can just scroll past it and forget I saw it. But there was one I saw, and I don't know what made me download it from Kindle Unlimited because there's so many reasons I shouldn't have. It's called Camera Shy by Editing Liz. Help me out. Who's it by? Is it going here? Thanks. And this snippet was, our main character is a curvy girl. I'm a curvy girl. And she's talking to the love interest guy. So he's like flirting with her, but she's like, you should see my friend. Like, she's so pretty. You guys would get along like crazy. And he's like, no offense, I don't care about your friend, but she's like beautiful. You guys would hit it off. You would love her. And he's like, girl, it's you. Like, it's you. I don't love an insecure main character woman. I don't. And I also do not like when they're plus size and insecure and the author is not plus size, because it's kind of like a read. It's kind of like a backhanded compliment. It's something's not sitting right with me. However, I did download it from Kindle Unlimited. Typical. I can't explain it. I think I'm gonna read that one, actually. I think I'm gonna read that one. I have a feeling I'm just gonna get through it so fast. Yeah, from what I got from the description, she's a plus size model, which is crazy that she's insecure, because babe, that's your job. And he's a photographer. They're also neighbors. That's a lot. I think I'm gonna read that one though. This book, I'm not even gonna read the back because I don't think I'm gonna read it. Oh, that's fun. There's text messages. I know I'm gonna love this book. I love The Long Game. And one day I will read The Spanish Love Deception as well. Anyway, so that's what this vlog is going to either be or start out to be. Camera shy and the natural way of things. Let's read. Guys, I had a DNF. I was only 2 chapters in, and the first chapter was, no. Sometimes you have to give grace to books and allow for the character development. But I couldn't with this. And then the second chapter was in the guy's point of view, and I was like, okay, there's nothing redeeming here. I don't feel comfy here. No. I'm on my phone now, but when I get my Kindle, I'm gonna read you some of the lines. Yeah, I think this is safe to say I DNF it, and I don't even care. Okay, I hate to be back this soon, but I have to hate on this book. So I highlighted just the first chapter, some things that, no. First of all, page, 4, she says, yes, I'm camera shy. That's the title of the book. We're dropping the title 4 pages in. Roll the credits. And roll the credits I am doing. So then she said, I'm comfortable in my body, but I'm not exactly proud of it. I'm healthy. I'm just not a model. Let the beautiful people be beautiful. I'll cheer them on the sidelines. I don't need to be a trophy. I'm treasured by this man, referencing her boyfriend across the table. So many things to unpack here. First of all, I do see the potential of this becoming like the bottom level of her character development. She has to start somewhere to grow. But I don't love how it is. I don't love it. And I do want you guys, first of all, I want you guys to know, and this is usually what, okay, and this is usually something fat phobic people say to try to make being fat okay. Okay, we're getting a little uncomfy here, but I have to stay true to myself on this channel. We're gonna talk about PCOS and we're gonna talk about being fat in a positive way, girl. We're gonna do it. Okay, she's not exactly proud of her body. She's she's implying she's fat, not just this paragraph, but she has to state that she's healthy. It's just so telling that it's yeah, but it's okay. But never does a skinny person in a book have to say, oh, but I live a healthy life. They don't have to make those disclaimers. I don't want to read this. I don't want to read this. Oh, I want you to please remember when she said, I don't need to be a trophy. I'm treasured by this man. So she is finding her worth from this man, and that's enough for her. Okay, so he bought a ring to propose to her with. When it's in front of her and she sees it, he changes his mind. He's like, actually, seeing it in this instant, like, I know it's not something I want and I can go through, which is very champagne problems of him. Taylor Swift reference. But coming from a man, it's just, oh my gosh. So this is the dialogue between them. So she says, did you cheat on me? He buries his face in his hands. No, he mumbles. I nod in relief. But I don't know why it makes it better, but at least... And then he says, but I wanted to. Okay. And then, oh my gosh, this is him talking to her. You are the perfect woman in every single way, except the way that matters to me the most. Okay, context. Before that, he was talking about how they don't have sex anymore, and she was like, but we're busy. I thought it was just because we were busy and we got tired. I didn't know there was an underlying problem. And he was just like, I just don't feel that way to you. Like, I don't want to do that. That's what matters to him the most. I tried to get past it. You were always on the cusp of being beautiful. No. Oh no. But then the business started, and I handled my stress by working out, and you handled it by ... and her internal monologue, like, finished his sentence, eating. I don't even care if he's the ex. I don't want to read it. When I walked in tonight, I felt like a goddamn piece, a knockout, a total 10. Leaving in ugly, fat humiliation, alone. How could this man's perception of me so quickly change my own view of myself? It's so great that you ask that. Should we reference what you said a couple pages ago? You said, I don't need to be a trophy. I'm treasured by this man. That's why, girly pop. And then it goes to the man, his name's Finn, his point of view. And what gave me the ick, he's a photographer. And his assistant, I think it is a woman. She went to, like, get something and goes, hustle girl, showing Lennox off the set. No. Anyway, so I don't think anything good can come from this, from what's already been laid out. I don't care if she'll come to loving herself. Clearly Finn is going, not clearly, I'm just making an assumption that Finn's going to be a key part in making her love herself, like, as a photographer. And I don't think she needs that. I think she needs to be alone because she's been with this boyfriend for like 4, 5, 6 years. And I really don't think that's what she needs. No romance this vlog. Can't do it. Won't do it. So we're just gonna read about purposefully awful men who I know to hate, and not just hustle girl. Really chatty vlog. So let's do some b-roll and some time lapse of me reading, and I will see you when we get deeper into that book. Do not read Camera Shy. Thank you. I didn't finish the book, but I got pretty far into it, halfway into it to be exact. I had a doctor's appointment. Hold on. The last time I came to this doctor's appointment, it took me an hour to see the doctor. So I was like, I'm gonna be prepared, I'm gonna bring my book. Saw her in less than 15 minutes. I have about 2.5 hours until I have to go to physical therapy. So I'm gonna go to Panera for a lunch and I'm just gonna read. Should we talk about the book a little bit? It's so pretentious. Like, it's giving it was written by a man, but it wasn't. It's just hard to read. The writing style, it's trying too hard to be something, and I hate it. Just write normal. Like, what are you doing? It's fine, but it's just, the potential's there. It's just not turning out to be anything. So I'm gonna go to Panera. I'm gonna decompress from this doctor's appointment because I'm so sick of being at doctor's appointments all the time and just be like given medication, and I'm in a spot right now. So I will see you later. I finally finished it. Took me all day to read half the book, but I finished it and I'm so glad it's over because I don't know, I'm going to need to process my thoughts a little bit more, and then we'll actually have a deep dive conversation. Not too deep though, because you know what, a book that tries this hard, I don't think, like, it wants me to deep dive and I don't want to, you know, like, I got what I got from this book and we'll discuss it later, but it's done. It's done. It took a few days, but I'm back with my thoughts right here about The Natural Way of Things by Charlotte Wood. I took a few days to just sit on this book and come up with what I wanted to talk about, because when I finished it, I was just like, okay, that's over, it's done. It was a lot of nothing. But the more I sat with it, I was like, wait, something might be there. I just had to buffer a little bit. I wrote down some notes so I don't forget what I wanted to say. You know when you're reading a book and you finish it and it's like, hey, that was a 3 or 4 star. But then you keep thinking about it and then you're like, wait, that might be actually a 5 star. This wasn't a 5 star. This is not that. I'm just saying it in more of a way, like when I read Project Hail Mary, I was like, okay, this is a solid 4 star. It was hard to get through at some points, but overall I really liked it. But the more I sat with it, the more it has a special place in my heart, so I upped it to a 5 star just because of the longevity of it. This is kind of how I feel with this book, but it was started out to be a 2, but it might be like a 3.5 star. So not the biggest jump, but I don't want to like dock it lower than it really is. So let's go over my notes. So I don't really want to give spoilers, but my thoughts about this book might need a little context, but I'll try to keep it as vague as possible. So like I said in the beginning, 10 women are drugged and taken to this compound to do extreme labor because they spoke up against powerful men who manipulated / assaulted them, or whatever it may have been in these different women's, their experience. It's crazy to me because it's 10 women on this encampment with 2 men overseeing them. And when I say men, I mean like these young guys who were just hired to they just wanted this job to make a quick buck so they can do whatever they do. Like one guy, I forget his name, Theo? That can't be right. Teddy. It's Teddy. Teddy, he wanted this job to continue backpacking through Australia or wherever he is doing that. So they don't really know these women. These women didn't do anything to them, but it's this opportunity for them to play a part of a big, powerful, scary man, and kind of just live their dream of hating women. And also they get a bonus for not sleeping with any of the women. Oh gosh. If they don't sexually assault one of these 10 women or any of them. So it's strange because it's like, what is the benefit of that. Like, why? I don't understand what the benefit of that would be from the bad guy to be like, but don't cross this line, when that line was already crossed. And what ended up putting these women in these situations, like the start of those stories. There are a lot of questions I get throughout this book that don't get answered, which is one of the most annoying parts about this book. It is not satisfying. There's no payoff in the ending. And sometimes pretentious writing does that. I think authors think that's what makes a good book, is the more you have to piece together yourself, the more it's like genius writing. I don't know. But what I was talking about with the ratio of women to men is, it's just these two inexperienced men, inexperienced in the fact that they're not regulars at kidnapping and torturing women to this extent. I'm sure they have their own flavor in that. And never do these 2 women or 10 women say, okay, it's 10 against 2. Let's make some power play here. Let's, you know. They don't even think about it. And it's so strange to me how easily they give in to the situation. They hate it, and sometimes they can be defiant, but not defiant in a way where they're trying to save themselves. It's more like, hey, she's hurt, you need to treat her, so we're going to treat her ourselves. Like, they gave in so easily. And I don't want to judge them because I've never been in this type of situation before. I've never been drugged and kidnapped and forced to do hard labor against my will in the outback of Australia. But I have to say, there has to be some fight there. It's 2 against 10. So I said how I had no payoff with the ending of this book. But the more so I'm kind of contradicting myself about how I hate how things were left open-ended. But I did have fun kind of drawing my own conclusions about how this book would, like, the next chapter would be and what happens to these women. Along with these women not having any fight in them, the only fight in them they have is survival. I don't get it. I don't get their mindset. There's 10 of them and you're telling me not one of them was like, hey guys. Like, I know they made it a point to say how they did start getting to know each other and start talking to each other, especially at nighttime when they were going to sleep. And then when the men heard them do that, they sat outside and stopped them every time they spoke. But we learn throughout the book that they do have a lot of side conversations and they learn a lot about each other. So the conversations didn't cease. So it's not like it would have been impossible to come up with a plan. But these women, they're also, especially the point of view we get, I want to say Yolanda specifically. I said it earlier in the video that this book feels like it was written by a man, and I thought about that for a while and I was just like, these are women who are questioning their place in their own bodies because of how men perceive them their whole lives. And when men perceive you your whole life and you're kind of just, your body is theirs and not yours your whole life, what stops you from believing that and your mindset also changing and having more of a male perspective? I don't know, just something to think about. And that kind of leads into the fact that I think this book was way too descriptive. Oh my gosh, it was so descriptive. The way the men were described, the way scents were described, animals. It was so graphic and nitty gritty. And I didn't love it because I don't really like gross things. So that's one reason. Also too, it was a lot. It was more description than plot. And also, this is just coming from a technical standpoint, but I really enjoyed the days following finishing this book and trying to piece together my own things and just random thoughts coming to me of like, wait, that may have been the reason why the author chose to do this. I don't appreciate or understand everything that she chose to do, but I have a little better understanding now that I had some critical thinking. So yeah, I'm glad I let it sit before I just talked to you guys and I was like, yeah, it's a 2-star. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 just for funsies, and I'm not gonna get rid of the book. I'm gonna hold on to it. That's gonna be this vlog. it's been chatty. I hope you enjoyed. I'm getting a little more comfortable talking to the camera and not just being very uniform with how I speak. So hopefully this was a fun little chat video. And I am sorry it was only one book. It was supposed to be two, but let's not forget how crap camera shy was just in 1.5 chapters. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.